þjóðin veit sínu viti. Ég hef stundum vísað í sjómann í Skagafirðinum sem sagði við mig á opnum fundi í vetur.
The nation knows its own mind. I often referred to the seaman in Skagafjordur who said to us at an open meeting this winter, Kristrún, there are persuasive people on both sides in the discussion, whom I respect and whose views I take seriously, who are completely at odds. Some say that Iceland is best protected within the European Union and that it is possible to negotiate, or that there is simply nothing at all to negotiate about. And then he asked, how can we know which group is right? Yes, this fine man got so well to the heart of the matter, and that is what this is about. The only way to get answers to the question in reality is to sit down at the negotiating table and get on the table what is being offered to us. Do we want to see an agreement, even though that would of course require time and effort, and then say yes to a good agreement, or do we not want that? There is no distortion in pointing this out. This is plainly the core of the matter and exactly why we are giving the nation the opportunity to show the way and decide whether we examine more closely the option of Iceland becoming a full member of the European Union. I also met an older woman from Hafnarfjordur in the supermarket after the election campaign had begun. When the greatest effort was being made to stretch it and twist it about what was really being asked on the ballot paper, she said, Kristrún, I understand this perfectly well. I do not need any doctoral degree to understand this question, she said. I know exactly what this is about. Even though there has certainly sometimes been an attempt to stir up fear in people with all kinds of incredible formal obstacles and distortions. But the question on the ballot paper is simple. So all the attempts to confuse people have been dealt with by common sense. First, it was said, the nation must not vote on this issue, and certainly not now at this point in time. Then it was said, this is a vote on membership, adaptation, and we already know everything about the European Union, and it is not possible to obtain exemptions from it. All of this has been dealt with by common sense. This is not a vote on membership and not on adaptation, but there will be another national referendum on an accession treaty if the result is yes in the first one. And we do not, in fact, know everything about what such an agreement might look like, as is so obvious from the discussion and the questions burning in the minds of people in this country. When the matter is brought up for discussion, it becomes clear when the negotiations have been completed. But we know that there are many precedents for exemptions in the accession agreements of states, including the European Union. And now it is being said that the nation is being deceived with a trick because a yes vote is not a good and valid position of many people, but merely a cunning ploy, and that the people of this country will let themselves be deceived. Notice that all this argument is based on the same premise that the nation simply cannot understand this issue and simply cannot be capable of making such a decision by referendum. Unfortunately, the main leaders of the no side have fallen into this trap, but that reveals nothing except their own attitude toward the people of this country. I look at this in an entirely different way. I know that the nation is wise and well made by God. People know what they want, whether they listen more to their heart or their gut, or rack their brains to arrive at their own correct democratic conclusion. But having said that, it is fully clear to me that there is nothing automatic about reopening negotiations with the European Union at this point in time, and I have been honest about that from the beginning. But there would be no sense in holding a referendum on the issue if the answer were completely obvious. When I say yes, I respect no just as much as yes, and the different reasons people have for their own position. I think it is best for everyone to try as hard as possible to show understanding of where people are coming from, and thus overcome one's own lack of understanding and, in some cases, prejudice toward others who disagree with one on this or other matters. And I repeat what I have said before. As Prime Minister, I promise to trust, respect, and work with the outcome of the nation's decision in this matter, whatever it may be.
Að treysta, virða og vinna með niðurstöðu þjóðarinnar í þessu máli, hver sem hún verður.